All right, guys, welcome to today's live. So excited for today's live. I got a new webcam set up. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to be streaming live both YouTube and Facebook Live. So if you see me looking over, to the side here, it's because I'm checking the other platform. I'm checking on Facebook because I want to be able to get all of your guys' questions answered. So if you see me looking to the side, I'm just looking over at the questions coming in because I thought what I'd do for the first time to try this out would be to not only broadcast on my YouTube channel and do a YouTube live, but also broadcast on Facebook Live. So we're going to try this out. This is my first time doing both a YouTube live and a Facebook live at the same time. We're going to see how this goes. So I just wanted to go over for today's live, being an Amazon FBA seller, and just let me know, can you guys hear me? So I'll see some comments coming in here soon. I should see on my right-hand side here, comments. I want to get to all of your guys' questions. And again, one of the main reasons I love going live and doing these YouTube lives and Facebook lives is because I get to connect with my subscribers and my supporters, and I get to answer your guys' questions directly. So I just want to start off by saying thank you to all of my YouTube subscribers and supporters who watch all my videos. It means the world to me that you subscribe to my channel, that you watch my videos. We're going through some tough times right now with, things going on in the world and economically. So economics wise. So I wanted to talk today about how you succeed, being an Amazon FBA seller. Should you start Amazon FBA with the coronavirus going on and everything else? So let me just get to some questions here. I see some coming in over here. All right. Thank you, Brandon, for being here. Hi, John. Thank you for being here. Hi, Caleb. Hi, Masami. Hi, Mira. Thank you guys for being here so much. So you guys are welcome to start answering your question. Let me just start off the live by addressing kind of what's going on. Being an Amazon FBA seller, I have 8 products that I currently sell through Amazon FBA. I have 8 live products. I'm running extremely low. On my last YouTube live, I talked about going out of inventory. If you are going to run out of stock, what you should do, and that is you should just run out of stock naturally and let the listing close, and then create a shipping plan to let Amazon know you have more inventory coming soon. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I want to be able to answer all of your questions. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Brandon. Hi, Masami. Hi, Fulvia. Hi, John. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm broadcasting both on YouTube Live today and Facebook Live. And so if you see me looking over this way or you see me looking over here, not directly at the camera, I am just making sure I get to all the questions. So thank you, everyone, for being here today. I wanted to start off today's live by just talking about the coronavirus, the economy, being an Amazon FBA seller. Maybe you're in product research phase right now and you're starting product research. I get a lot of questions, every single day, and I want to get to those questions, such as, should you start an Amazon FBA business now with the coronavirus? Some other questions I get is my supplier is trying to charge me double for my product or for shipping, and I want to talk about that. Is it normal for suppliers to be charging you double? And you have to go with your gut a little bit. If your supplier is trying to charge you double, so the question was for your supplier to be charging you double right now what the normal price of the product was, and then they tell you it's because of the coronavirus. And I would say double is a little bit extreme. Yes, goods and material costs have gone up over in China due to the coronavirus. And so you should have $1 or $2 per unit, but it definitely shouldn't be double the price of what it normally is. And then there's a lot of strain right now on the world supply and demand and shipping prices. So shipping prices have gone up, not only because there's more Amazon sellers and more e-commerce sellers trying to get products out of China, like myself, who are running low on inventory and need more inventory quickly. So there's a lot more demand, so supply and demand, so you're going to get charged a little bit more for shipping. But if you're going with air shipping, I've noticed there's a huge increase in air shipping. And the reason there's a huge increase with air shipping is because there's less flights going out of China, and a lot of FBA packages, if you didn't know, actually get placed on passenger airplanes. And so you can see your prices for DDP shipping by air really, really expensive. And so what is everyone doing? A lot of sellers are saying, okay, I'll just go with sea shipping from my supplier. And that's also increasing prices. So if your supplier is trying to charge you more and they're saying because of the coronavirus, that's normal. Costs for for goods and materials, and then they have to bring in temporary workers. And so things are slowly getting back to normal over in China, but I think it's going to be a while before it gets back 100% like it used to be. And I think in the US, things are going to get worse before they get better. However, in times like this, when everyone is panicking and conserving their money and staying home, working from home, it's a great time to become an Amazon seller, especially if you can find a product or products that solve a problem or that are essential products to people's everyday life. There's going to be a lot more customers ordering off Amazon right now from people staying home and just not being able to get out to the store. If we go into any type of lockdown or restrictions on travel, which I don't expect to happen, but you never know. So China's been hit the hardest with the coronavirus. We know that for sure. Now Italy, now South Korea, and so it's spreading. So air shipping has gotten really expensive, but also so has sea shipping has gotten more expensive due to people not being able to afford air shipping. So now sea shipping is getting more expensive as well. A lot of flights have been canceled. So be prepared to spend a little bit more on your product cost and for shipping. Now, if your supplier is trying to charge you double, I would ask them to, I would tell them, if your supplier is trying to charge you double from what the product normally costs, that's a little expensive. I don't think you should have to pay double. But what I would do is I would ask your supplier, and what I'm doing is ask your, okay, you're telling me the price for my product is going to go up a little bit. What will be the price of the product after this order? So if your supplier is telling you it's going to be more expensive this time, a few more dollars per unit, and the shipping costs have gone really high, ask your supplier what will be the price for your next order. And then I'd recommend also reaching out to more suppliers to get additional quotes and prices, because you never know, you may be able to save money right now going with a different supplier. Next question I see here is, should you find a supplier outside of China? And that's kind of a tough question. So should you find a supplier outside of China? And I would say China is still the best place to get your Amazon FBA products manufactured. It's just the truth that there's just the most manufacturers, per square feet in China. They specialize in American goods, and Amazon, a lot of Amazon sellers are still getting products from China, and I think you should too. One thing that could happen is if you do source your product from a different country like India or Italy, the supply chain could break down over there too. And so right now, for the coronavirus, in terms of the coronavirus, things getting more back to usual in China. So you shouldn't be afraid that you're going to have to not be able to source your product in China and go find another supplier in another country. And then another question I see here is, should your products be disinfected before they leave China? And as far as I know, I'm not a doctor or an expert on the coronavirus, but should your products be disinfected before they leave China? The answer is no, because the coronavirus can only live on hard surfaces like plastic and cardboard for, I think, a max of 3 days. And so no, your products should not have to be disinfected before they leave your supplier. And so what I covered is, should your supplier be charging you double? The answer is no. Get other quotes from other suppliers, and then ask them to quote you a price now, and then what a price would be in the future for your next order, and contact multiple suppliers. And then one of the main questions I'm getting right now I see is, should I hold off starting Amazon now due to the virus and due to the outbreak and due to a possible economic recession and slowdown? And I would say, if you have the means to do so, you should absolutely continue to go all in on your Amazon FBA business. Again, there's going to be millions of more customers shopping on Amazon from the convenience of their home. There's going to be millions of more at home buying products off Amazon, working from home full time. So especially if your product solves a problem, especially if your product is an essential item that solves a problem, those products are going to continue to do very, very well. Some of my products, the sales have gone up and increased, and some of my products, the sales have gone down. But that's just kind of normal due to kind of an outbreak like this. And so another question I see here is, I covered how should you source from another country. You can look into sourcing from another country, but the risk there is if you go and source from India or Vietnam, what if there's an outbreak in that country? Right now, China is kind of coming off a tailwind, getting that under control, getting the virus under control. And again, the good news is a lot of my suppliers are already back to work. 6 out of 8 of my suppliers are back to work. And I'm seeing inside my students' business, Amazon businesses, when they're contacting suppliers, I'd say about 85% are getting back to them, which is awesome. So about 85% of suppliers are getting back to my students. My suppliers, 6 out of 8 of them are fully back to work at this time. And so China is recovering. Things will get back to normal. One huge tip that I want to tell you, if you're sourcing products from China, which is okay to do, and what I'd recommend, because China just simply has the most products for the best price. There's just not another country that can out-manufacture China. If you are sourcing products from China, a lot of sellers are trying to go with air shipping, and that has got more expensive because there's less flights leaving China, going to China. So you can look into sea shipping. It will take longer, but you might as well just save the money versus having to pay for that expensive air shipping. Next, I want to talk about, I see another question here. Because I don't want to go out as well, please give me a reason to go shopping. Yes, exactly. Hi, Lunju. Thank you for being here. Hi, Laura. Thank you for being. Jaspreet, thank you. Thank you. I see you guys there. Okay, another great question here. When opening a seller account, how do you answer the UPC question? Okay, so when you create a listing and you're opening your, so if you've not created your seller account yet, and you're in the process of registering your seller account, there's 3 questions they're going to ask you there. The first one is, do you have UPC codes? The answer is yes. The second question they're going to ask is, are you a brand representative or own a brand? The answer is no. And how many products do you plan on selling? The answer is 1 to 10. And then on the next page, you can choose just like home and garden as your product category. For UPCs in general, I still get my UPCs from nationwidebarcode.com. They're $12 per barcode. They work just as well as going to GS1 website. If you don't know what GS1 is the authoritating, the place that manufacturers or hands out these GS1 original UPC barcodes, the type of barcode you need as an Amazon seller. But I've had no issues getting my UPCs from Nationwide Barcode, and then even getting brand registry with that barcode. If you are UPCs from Nationwide Barcode, $12 per barcode, and look at the top of the page because I believe there is a 40% off coupon you can save. Okay, I want to just go over some tips as I see some more questions coming in. Hi, Nathan. Thank you for being here. Hi, Anand. Hi, Ryan. Thank you guys so much for being here. I've been answering some questions on the coronavirus as far as should you source from outside of China? Will things get back to normal? One of the big tips, and here are some tips I have for you if you are in the reordering phase of your product or you're just getting into Amazon FBA, which you should continue going. If you have the means to still continue going into Amazon, you should absolutely continue going into Amazon FBA. But please, please, please make sure to get an inspection. Really, really important. Since Chinese New Year and the coronavirus, there's a lot of suppliers who have employees. There's also a lot of cases where the suppliers are so backlogged that they're just rushing through to try to get product out the door. And so we want to make sure that your product and our products are of the most highest quality. And one of the best ways to do that is to go ahead and get an inspection done. So please spend the $100 or $150 to get inspection done. Especially that right now with what's going on with temporary workers being in place, with suppliers so backlogged with getting orders out the door, it makes all the difference in the world to try to get to do an inspection on your product. So I see some other questions here, and if you guys see me moving my, looking over away from the camera this way or that way, I'm broadcasting live on YouTube and on Facebook. So I just don't want to miss any questions. Nathan, okay, well, you're getting a few clicks and a few sales. What would you do? If you're getting a few clicks but few sales, or getting clicks but a few sales, so I would look at what PPC campaigns do you have running currently? I think, Nathan, you were here a couple weeks ago when I did a YouTube Live, And I think you had recently launched your product, if I'm not mistaken, and you had recently started PPC. So have you been able to download your PPC reports and analyze those thoroughly? Have your campaigns been running for about 4 weeks? That's about how long it's going to take to have a full PPC search term, phrase, click-through rates, impressions, ACOS, a full report so you can analyze. So if you have that report, mistake I see a lot of new sellers make is they only run a few PPC campaigns, maybe an auto, one auto, or two auto, one or two manual, and a product targeting. On most of my products, when I first launch, I have upwards of 10 to 20 different PPC campaigns going at once. Now, it doesn't mean you have to spend hundreds of dollars per day, but absolutely you should be testing multiple different campaigns. So 4 different manual campaigns, 4 or 5 different product targeting campaigns. And what I recommend doing is finding competitors' products who have a less quality listing than you do, have less reviews than you, or have lower amount of images than you, and target those competitors with your product that's better, more innovative, more premium, and spread out your competitors' ASINs across multiple product targeting campaigns versus just going all in $20 a day on like 50, targeting 50 different competitors' ASINs. Spread out over like 5 to 10 different campaigns, all of those competitors' ASINs, and you'll see your ACOS come down. And also it's just more effective, I've noticed with Amazon PPC and pay-per-click, that your advertising budget will go through if you spread out your ASINs for product targeting over multiple campaigns. Same thing with manual PPC campaigns is test different manual PPC campaigns. What keywords are you currently targeting? Are you targeting only, high search volume keywords that have over 30,000 searches a month? Or can you target lower, less competitive keywords that maybe only have 3,000 searches a month, but you can bid high on those and rank for those keywords? Especially right now with a lot of products being out of stock, that's another topic I wanted to talk about. Hi, Renee. Thank you for being here. Hi, Jeswin. Thank you for being here. Hi, Chini. Thank you for being here. Masami, thank you for being here. Hi, Nathan. Hi, John. Awesome that you guys are here. So I was just discussing a little bit about PPC. At any time for any new product I'm launching, I have 10 to 20 different campaigns running. So keep testing, keep optimizing, and you'll find something. You'll find a campaign that works. If I open a seller's account and don't start selling for a while, will Amazon take it down? Great question. No, I recommend just setting up your Amazon seller account at any time. You can register. What I recommend is registering just as an individual. Now, when I say register as an individual, I think a lot of people I mean register as an individual seller, because there's 2 types of Amazon seller. There's individual and professional. You will want to be a professional seller once your product gets, you're ready to ship your product to Amazon. You need to be on professional level. But what I mean as register as an individual in the beginning is if you don't have an LLC set up yet or an S Corp set up yet and formatted, you want to just choose individual and just use your own bank account and your own social security number. And you can absolutely set up your Amazon seller account at any time. And I'd even recommend you setting up your listing and start getting familiar with how to create your product listing, how to add your photos and main image, how to set the price, and start working on gathering, even if you're like a month or 2 out from when the product's going to get to Amazon, I recommend just creating the listing just to make sure that there's no issues, because I've seen time and time again where students think they can sell a product or people think they can sell a product. They create a listing and find out that they're not allowed to sell that product, or Amazon switches the requirements or restrictions, and then it goes to a medical device or a pesticide device. And so to make sure that there's no issues, go ahead and create that Amazon seller account. All you will need is a credit card, a bank account, a photo ID issued by a government, and a bank account or a bank account statement or utility bill. And go ahead and set up that account. And then to create the listing, all you will need is a UPC barcode from like nationwidebarcode.com or GS1. Hi, Fulvia. Thank you for being here. Alondra, thank you for being here. I'm wondering, Fulvia, great question. So Fulvia Orlando, I'm wondering what happens to returns items. So great questions. What happens to our returns? And so there is a couple different things that can happen to product returns. The first one that's the most common that will happen with product returns is Amazon will inspect them quickly. And I mean quickly. They don't open them up. They just kind of look at the outer packaging. I've seen it happen where they don't even look inside, and they try to resell a product where there's missing parts. And so Amazon will do a quick inspection, and then a lot of times back in your inventory, and sometimes they'll sell that as a new item, but a lot of times they will catch it and they'll sell it on top of your listing as a, but they usually only have one or two units that are like this, so it's all right. And you'll see that the buy box, you still have the buy box, and if you see another seller come on your listing, that's considered a hijacker. But it's okay, because in this case, it's just Amazon relisting your product on your listing, relisting your product on top of your listing, but it's used like new. There is a setting inside your Amazon seller account. If you go up to the top right inside your Seller Central account, go to the top right of your Seller Central account, go to settings, and go down to, I believe it's FBA inbound shipping settings. Or return settings. I think there's actually a section, if you go to the top right, settings, and then returns, there's a setting there where you can have all units sent back to you, and then you can decide what to do with them. Most frequently, you'll just get an email or a notification from Amazon saying that you have a returned item, create a disposal order, and that just means that the product is no longer sellable. So look into that returned ship, those returns, that setting for returns under settings in your seller account, and turn on that so where you have to approve returns or get them shipped directly to your house. When we as buyers return something to Amazon, what does the seller do? So the seller really doesn't have any control over returns. If we buy something and return it to Amazon, Amazon handles all returns. So there's really not much without turning on that setting inside your seller account, there's not much we have over what Amazon does with the returns, other than you can make Amazon send you a notification saying you have to approve it before it can be relisted as a new item on top of your listing. And this is especially important because you don't want a used item from Amazon missed it and it's missing a part, or it's used. And sometimes I've seen this happen where Amazon will actually relist the item on my with my other inventory that's new. They'll relist a returned item as new, but it's used, and then you get a negative review, and you can actually get your account suspended. So be very, very careful and look into that return shipping setting. As far as buyers, and when we return something, Amazon handles all returns, so we really don't have to worry about that as Amazon sellers. Hi, Carlos. Hi, Simplius. I'm trying to see the more comments here. Hi, Renee. Hi, Joe. Joe, I'm trying to decide which category to list a new product in. The top two competitors are listed in two different ones. Okay, Joe, great question. And if I'm looking over, guys, I'm broadcasting on YouTube Live. And so if you see me looking away from the camera, I'm just trying to get to all the questions. But Joe, great question. What category should you list your product in? And I would say that depends on a couple of things. What I recommend doing is, do you know your main competitor or your main keyword for your product that has the most search volume, the most relevant keyword? Type that into Amazon, pull up all the results, pull up your extension, whether that's Jungle Scout or Helium 10's X-Ray. Let the extension run on the first page with all your main competitors for your best main keyword, and look at all the categories that the products are in. And what I would do is I would list my product in the categories that, number one, most of the other sellers are listed in, and number two, the ones making the most revenue. What category are they in? That's the category I would list in. Okay, hi, Carlos. Awesome, you guys are here. John has a question: photos for your products. And so I've done, when I first got started with Amazon, I just hired a product photographer off Fiverr. And what I would do to kind of sort through the results from Fiverr, graphic designers, Fiverr, photographers, is I would look at their past portfolio of work to get an idea of what their kind of theme was, what their style was. Now I have my own product photographer that handles all of my graphics, my logos, my insert cards, my product packaging, my detailed product photography and editing. So I have my own personal Amazon product photographer right now. But if you are just starting out, you can either message me and I can get you his information, or you can look on Fiverr. There's some great product photographers on there or you can also look on Jungle Scout Marketplace, another great place to find product photographers, freelancers, graphic designers, people to do your box insert card and your custom box design. Because on junglescoutmarketplace.com, those people are vetted, and a lot of times they do a lot of great work. Now, what is the average price you should pay for product photography? I say anywhere from about $200 to $400 is pretty much going to be the average that you are going to pay for a professional photo shoot for your product images, product photography. Again, I want to emphasize the main image is the most important. I mean, your main image can make or break your listing. You want to have an amazing main image. And I know there's a lot of debate out there, does it have to be on a white background if your competitors, are showing it in use or showing it in the environment it's used? I would say use your judgment, but yes, your product, the main image is supposed to be just on a white background with no text or graphics. I see a lot of competitors and a lot of sellers, showing, if it's like a blanket, for example, they're showing the blanket on a bed or somebody using the blanket or in a living room. And so if your main competitors are doing it, they've been selling for a while, you could try that. But yes, it's supposed to be on a main image. And then make sure you are doing text and graphics and overlays and having those photos professionally edited, because photos are one of the most important parts of your product listing page. I am selling an oversized and heavy items. If I don't get West Side, I am losing money for trucks. How can I get West Side? Okay, so thanks for the question. I'm selling an oversized item. So I don't know if you've already sourced the item. I tend to stay away from oversized products unless my profit margin is decent enough. For an oversized item, that means that it's over 18 inches on the lengths, the widths, the heights, over 18 inches. I have some products that are under 5 pounds, so I'm not opposed to going, like a 4-pound product. But if your product is considered oversized, or I recommend you start with the freight forwarder to handle your shipping versus your supplier shipping. A lot of times a freight forwarder has other ways and means to get your product from the supplier to the Amazon warehouse for a cheaper cost. As far as what fulfillment center you're going to be sending it to, I don't know if you're doing FBM or FBA, but I'm losing money for trucks. So I would recommend a freight forwarder. See if a freight forwarder can't save you money. I've used Unicargo and Forest Shipping and Inspect-A-Man for some of my past FBA shipments. See if they can save you some money. As far as I think you're talking about the method of transport. I mean, I really don't deal with that. I use a freight forwarder and they handle all the method of transport. And then we really can't tell which warehouse the product is going to go to until we create the FBA shipping plan. And once you create the shipping plan, you'll have a better idea on which warehouse Amazon wants you to send their products to. Okay, great question. Akeem, thank you for being here. Joe, thanks for being here. Brandon, thank you for being here. Another question coming in. I answered the question about disinfecting. Should you disinfect your products before leaving China? The answer is no. You don't need to disinfect your products before they leave China. The virus can only live on plastic, cardboard, glass, no more than 3 days. And with sea shipping, DDP, it's going to be at least 20 days. So you don't have to worry about that. But I would absolutely recommend you do an inspection. Absolutely. It's a must right now. If you're sourcing, you have to do an inspection, because a lot of these factories have employees that were not able to return to work because of the virus. And so absolutely get an inspection for your product, because you want to make sure that the quality is there. And they are so backlogged with orders and trying to get a production back going and getting product out the door that they're rushing through a lot of things. So make sure you do a inspection. Hi, Travis. Thank you for being here. And fulfillment center, yeah. And use a freight forwarder to handle oversized items. That'd be my recommendation. I've never sold an oversized item. That's any product that's over 18 inches in length or width or height. But freight forwarder, Unicargo, Inspect-A-Man, absolutely. John, thanks for the question. And John, thank you for being here. Thank you for everyone else who's being here. You know, one of the main reasons I love doing these lives is I get to interact with you guys, my YouTube subscribers, my fans, my supporters, those of you who are on the other side of my shows, and I get to interact one-on-one. So I love doing these YouTube and Facebook Lives, and I'm going to continue to try to do these at least once a month. For restricted products, do you need our own certificate, or can we just use the manufacturer's certificate? Okay, great question, John. I have actually sold restricted products before, so I have a little bit of expertise and knowledge in this. I'm currently approved to sell topical products, which is a restricted category. Eyelash growth serum, hair growth serum, those are restricted. I'm allowed to sell those. Same thing with pesticide devices, such as a mosquito repellent bracelet, an ultrasonic pest repeller. Those type of products are restricted and actually require approval because pesticide device, like ultrasonic pest repeller, you're, repelling pests, and so you have to have approval. So to sell restricted products, it depends on the category. Other categories are easier to get approval in than others. I currently have approval in topical products and pesticide devices and hazmat goods. I would say the hardest one that was the most challenging to get approval in was topical products. The easiest was pesticide devices. For topical products, they wanted past invoices, they wanted photos of the product, they wanted photos of the packaging, they wanted the supplier's good manufacturing practice certificate. So topical product was challenging. I got approved in there. The other one was pesticide devices. That was the easiest to get approval in. All I watch a 30-minute online e-learning course and take a test through your Amazon Seller Central account. So if you're looking at selling a product that's restricted on Amazon, what you should do is go inside your Amazon Seller Central account, go to the top left, catalog, add products, type in the name of your product, and then go through the listings. On the right-hand side, choose new condition, and that's the first step, is catalog, add products, type in the name of your product, and find out on the right-hand side by clicking listing limitations apply what Amazon needs for you to be able to sell that product. Some.com for $12 and create a dummy listing. Set up a listing for that product and see what happens. If it doesn't get taken down after 7 to 10 days, then you know you're good to go. For restricted products, do we need our own certificate or the manufacturer certificate? I would say in most cases, the manufacturer certificate is more than enough. I've seen some of my students' products get approval this way, and I've had my own products done this way, where all we had to send to Amazon, all I had to send to Amazon, or my students had to send to Amazon, was the manufacturer's certificate, safety data sheet, good manufacturing practice, FDA clearance certificate. Just make sure you find a supplier or manufacturer that has those things according to what Amazon wants. Jit, thank you for being here so much. Jose, thank you for being here. Right, how best to negotiate an MOQ? Is it still good prices without negotiate? Is right now what I would say, and what I am saying to my suppliers is, there's a little bit of uncertainty going on right now in the United States with the economy. And even though, don't tell them this, but Amazon is going to continue to blow up. And there's more people than ever right now shopping from home, buying products on Amazon. But for MOQ, try to find other suppliers who are willing to come down from like a 500 to 300. And you should be able to find a supplier. I would set the MOQ for suppliers that have a MOQ of 500 or lower. If your supplier has an MOQ of 1,000, the chances of them coming down to 250 is very, very low. However, if they have a MOQ of 500, usually they will come down to 250 or 300. So look for a supplier with an MOQ of 500 or lower. The second thing I would do was get in contact with other suppliers who have agreed to come down to 250 or 300 or even 100 and show them that. And then the other thing is tell them you're setting up a long-term business relationship, and you want to start off with a low MOQ to test the market, and you're just uncertain about the U.S. economy. It would help us out in our business, but if you could lower MOQ, a lot of times that will work. Other suppliers who have offered a lower MOQ, you start in the very, very beginning by looking for suppliers who have an MOQ of 500 or lower, and then you tell them you're in this for the long haul. You're going to be a long-term business relationship, partnership with them. can they come down and start with a lower test order? Okay, thank you, Masami, for the question. A year and a half, 2 years ago, I opened multiple seller accounts. It was so easy, but lately I'm seeing it be really, really challenging for people to get approval to open a second seller request for becoming an Amazon seller. I think they've started to limit how many accounts per household. I don't know if that's true or not, but you should still be able to get approval for a second account. I would say start with just one account, one seller account, list a product, start selling, and then ask for approval by Amazon to open a account. And you have to have good reason, like you're a business partnership or you have a separate LLC registered for Amazon to approve that. Does my product automatically go online once it reaches the Amazon warehouse? Yes, great question, Alondra. So yeah, we set up your seller account. Once it gets approved, I know it will. We create the listing. We'll set up the listing. We'll be working on the listing while the supplier is producing your product. We'll have the photos taken. We'll be working on the description, on the key product features, the bullet points, writing out your listing, working on optimization with the right keywords throughout everything. And then we'll be creating a shipping plan. When coming to their warehouse, they will tell us which warehouse to send it to. We'll create a shipping plan and then send the labels, the shipping labels to the supplier. The supplier will ship the product to Amazon. Once the product reaches Amazon's fulfillment center warehouse, they will start slowly checking in your boxes, your inventory, your units. And then within about a week or two, all the units will become available. But as soon as even one unit is checked in and available, you are now live and the units get labeled properly by your supplier or freight forwarder with the Amazon FNSKU barcode. Your shipping labels and barcodes are correct. As soon as it hits Amazon, it'll become available and active right away. Absolutely. Kyle, thank you for being here. Hi, Kyle. Jose, Travis, thank you guys so much for being here. Okay, so why don't I give you guys a few tips on just dealing with the coronavirus and being an Amazon FBA seller. A few tips that I have for you. Being an Amazon seller right now in these uncertain times, you should continue to go all in on starting your Amazon FBA business and becoming an Amazon seller. There's no reason not to, just because there's extra fear going on and possibly, an economic downfall. There's more people than ever that are going to be shopping from home and buying products off Amazon, especially if your product is an essential item and solves a problem. But also while you're doing product research, if you're in product research phase right now, you need to pay attention to the data. There's a lot of competitors and a lot of sellers that are going to be out of stock right now. And what I'm noticing on Amazon's website is the BSRs are off. The BSR, the best sellers rank, are off. They're not properly calculated because the seller has been out of stock recently. So please be careful when you're doing product research and analyzing the data, checking BSR and the history of that seller's BSR over the last few months versus just taking a look at the BSR right now. It could be skewed. The second thing is competitors could be out of stock right now. And so a market could look really good. A potential product or product idea could look really good. But that's because there's some main competitors who are out of stock right now. So please be careful. And there's really no way to know other than to just continue monitoring it. If you're in the product research phase right now, doing product research, product in a category that looks good, be careful because it reviews right now and not too much competition. But we have to be careful because they could be out of stock. Employees who are sick, who have never returned to work, they used to work there and they brought on temporary labor, so they're not as used to the quality that needs to be done and performed to get in and start your Amazon business. But like I said, there's more people working from home and going to be buying products online. Now is one of the best times to buy products and ship them to Amazon and to start your Amazon FBA business, especially with probably a lot of other sellers who are not going to start because of the virus and because of fear. And if you get started and you get product going, you're already ahead of them. Make sure that you do ask your supplier if they are trying to raise prices on you. Please ask them, okay, I see you're raising prices a few dollars. That's okay, but please, what would be the price on my next order a few months away? So get prices for right now. what's the price with the increased cost due to coronavirus, and what will be the price in a few months when you reorder. Also, try to order as much inventory as you can possibly afford. Don't break the bank and go $5,000, $10,000 into a product with buying tons of inventory. But due to shipping concerns, overstocking right now would be a smart idea, especially if you have competitors who go out of stock and you still have inventory. You can still compete in that space. You can also raise your price a few dollars. This is something I don't think I've talked about before. One thing you can do to succeed as an Amazon seller and to offset your raised prices that you may be experiencing from your suppliers in China is to raise your price a few dollars on Amazon to your customer. A lot of the times I don't see this huge deterrent. It doesn't decrease sales or take the personal relationship building factor into it. So ask your suppliers, how are they? How are they affected by the virus? Let them know that you're going to be in this long term, that you're starting your Amazon FBA business and you want to partner with the supplier and have them become a long ongoing. And so ask your suppliers how they are, how's their family, is everything okay? And just kind of build a relationship. That's a huge tip there, just so you can be kind of long-term business mindset. So that's pretty much going to cover all the questions for today. I have talked about should you source a product from another country, China? The answer is really no, although you can look at Vietnam or India. The possibility, though, is if you do switch your supply chain and go and find a supplier in a different country like India or Korea or Vietnam, what if there's an outbreak in India or Vietnam and they get hit just as bad as China? Then your supply chain could really be a problem. So hi, Blake. Thank you for being here. Hi, Judy. Thank you for joining me. I'm so happy you guys are here. So I just wanted to wrap up today's live stream by just letting you know, continue doing product research. There's no reason to stop or not start your Amazon FBA business. There's millions of more customers and people at home buying products off Amazon. And I please urge you to continue pushing forward, reaching out to suppliers. A lot of the suppliers are back to work now, and they will get back to you. If there is an increase in price, ask them, okay, so there's a little bit of increase in price right now due to the coronavirus in China. There's a little bit of more cost, but get other quotes from other suppliers so you can kind of get a baseline of what people are going to be charging. Can only live 3 days, as far as I know, on a product, plastic, cardboard, so no need to have it disinfected. It can't last that long. And with sea shipping, it's going to be 20 or plus days, 20 days or longer, but please do get an inspection. So with that, I just want to leave on a quote that Nathan Clark, thank you so much. I just had to stop my sentence there. That's your basis for your Amazon business. That's what's going to make sure that solves the problem. And if you can innovate a little bit and offer a really high quality product that solves the customer's problem and is a real premium version, you're going to do really, really well. So continue doing product research, but don't get stuck in product research. Make sure you're reaching out to suppliers to get quotes as well. I think I'll wrap up right there for today. I do want to announce the winners of the 2 one-on-one call, mentorship call giveaways. These are 2 30-minute calls, both valued at $75 each. And the winners of the one-on-one mentorship calls from last week, I'll pick one from this week. So this week, from last week, the winner is Nathan Clark. So you can tell me on Facebook if you want a one-on-one mentorship call, 30-minute call to discuss your Amazon business or just being an entrepreneur. So Nathan Clark is the winner from last week or 2 weeks ago, that live for the one-on-one mentorship call. And the one-on-one mentorship call for this week is Fulvia Orlando. Please contact me on Facebook and I'll be happy to set up that call. Please don't freak out about being an Amazon seller or being an entrepreneur in times that are tough like this. I'm personally investing in stock market right now because I'm getting companies for way cheaper stocks, for way cheaper than I would normally pay. So please see the good in what's happening right now. There will be light at the end of the tunnel. China is getting back to normal, and I hope you won't let this virus stop you from changing your life and starting a possibly life-changing business called Amazon FBA. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. Really appreciate every single one of your support. I'll be happy to do this again, either next one time a month. So I will in another YouTube video, the next YouTube Live, Facebook Live, but I'm going to try to do it at least once per month. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys real soon.